Hey everybody, I'm Howard, and this is Otter's Retirement Corner. I know I talked about this next video being about the Medicare for All, a continuation of that, but I just wanted to pop on with a quick video because the Social Security Administration's Trustees report for 2023 just came out, and there's some great news! Good news. Okay news. So I just want to cover that. You know, I have some pages from it. It's a 200, 300 page report. I don't know what it is. I just want to do some highlights to sort of update people. So they're looking at three major findings that are good. Well, two that are good and one not so good for Social Security. First, given the continued level of total fertility rate in recent years, the trustees have revised the ultimate fertility rate from 2.0 to 1.9 children per woman. So, our birth rate's going down. That's bad for Social Security in the shorter term, better in the longer term. They'll get less tax money when those people go to work. It'll pay out less benefits when those people retire. So it has more of an effect right now. Trustees have reduced the assumed ultimate disabled worker incident rate from 4.8 to 4.5 per thousand exposed, which means fewer people are applying for disability benefits. And that's a good thing because that's, obviously less money out of that fund. Third, given the actual growth in gross domestic product through 2023 substantially exceeded the growth assumed in last year's report, the trustees have increased the assumed level of labor productivity over the projections period. So it means, because the economy is good, more people are working than they projected, more money is coming into the Social Security trust funds than they had projected. That's very good news. All right, so now they're talking about the short range results, and by short range I mean 10 years. So they look 10 years in the future, and they talk about total costs began to be higher than total income in 2021. And I've discussed this before, and often in the comments, not only on my channel but on other channels. Since 2021, incoming revenue to the Social Security Administration is not enough to pay benefits. So the trust fund is being tapped to pay those benefits. So for about 3 years now, the trust fund has started to deplete, and that's the overall worry that in 10 years or so that the trust fund will use up all its funds. So the combined reserves are projected to decrease from $2,788 billion, where it stood at the end of 2023, to $551 billion at the end of 2033. So, while projections before had the trust fund running out somewhere between 2033 and 2034, now, they're looking at a good $551 billion in that trust fund due to the higher revenues coming in that they discussed before. So under the trustee intermediate assumption, OASDI cost exceeds total income in 2024 and every year thereafter through 2098. Now we're looking at the long term. They always look 75 years in the future for the long term. And the level of the hypothetical combined trust fund reserve declines until reserves become depleted in 2035. So this is what's different. They're talking 2033, 2034. Now they're looking at 2035. So, it's been shrinking for various reasons, mostly due to so many people retiring. But now they're saying, it's not quite that bad. It'll be 2035. Something to rejoice about. Okay, so for the combined OASI and DI trust funds to remain fully solvent, now we're looking at some solutions. Throughout the 75-year projection period ending in 2098, either one, revenue would have to increase by an amount equal to an immediate and permanent payroll tax rate increase of 3.33 percentage points to 15.73%. Right now it's 12.4%. You pay 6.2, your employer pays 6.2, that's 12.4. Now they're saying that would have to be 15.73 or 7.8687 per person and per employer. That alone would make the trust fund solvent through 2098. Or scheduled benefits would have to be reduced by an amount equivalent to an immediate and permanent reduction of 20.8% applied to all current and future beneficiaries effective in January 2024. we're past that, and that's not going to happen. So they're saying the alternative is just reduce benefits by 20%, and we'll be fine. No one's looking to do that. Or three, some combination of these approaches would have to be adopted. There's also many other additional suggested solutions, and if you go onto the Social Security Administration's website, they actually show these and how each of them would affect the trust fund and the solvency of the program. They look at Bernie Sanders' solution, they look at Larson's solution, they look at Biden's solution. They look at various solutions and say, okay, this is what would happen, this is how long the trust fund would survive under these conditions, or this is the percent we would get towards. They look at if we took the cap off the income tax, the payroll tax rate. How long would that make the trust fund good? And it doesn't do it for 75 years. That's not a solution in and of itself. Anyway, so they finally summarize and say the trustees recommend that lawmakers address the projected trust fund shortfalls in a timely way in order to phase in necessary changes gradually and give workers and beneficiaries time to adjust to them. Implementing changes sooner rather than later, and I've said this over and over, would allow more generations to share in the needed revenue increases or reductions in scheduled benefits. Social Security will play a critical role, blah, blah, blah. All right, so in essence, they're saying make changes now, because if you wait, those changes will have to be bigger, more extreme, and will affect people probably more negatively than they would if you did it right away. So even though we have till 2035, don't wait. Do it now. Do it now. It's not going to happen, but let's hope. All right. So and then there's another page that sort of summarizes the trust fund's financials. And very quickly, I said before, the trust fund started at the end of 2022 with $2.829 trillion. It finished at $2.789 trillion. And payroll tax contributions were $1.23 trillion. Interest on the trust fund's treasury securities, and I've said this over and over, was $67 billion in 2023. I think it was the same for 2022, and $71 billion the year before that. So yes, there is a trust fund. Yes, it does have investments. Yes, it is getting regular interest payments, contrary to what you'll see people say in the comments. Taxation of benefits. When you pay income taxes on your benefits, as some people do, the tax goes back to the Social Security Administration, goes right back into the trust fund, and that totaled $50.7 billion in 2023. So those payroll taxes, the interest, the income tax, it's not enough to pay all the benefits. We're tapping into the trust fund more slowly than we had thought. They used $41.4 billion out of the trust fund, so it paid about 3% of benefits. That will continue to get higher and higher until at 2035. It's paying about 22 or 23% of the benefits, and then it runs out, and then benefits drop by that 23%. Or, that'll change slightly. Those are projections, but it's a rough estimate. So tell me what you think about this. Are you happy about this? Is it no issue? Is it meaningless to you? What are your thoughts? How do we fix Social Security? What would you do? I've said before that I think it's a combination of things. I don't think we'll see an increase. I don't think we'll see this fixed anytime soon. There's still too much time for Congress just to kick the can down the road. Subscribe, like, and we'll see you next time. I'll get back to the Medicare for All. Thanks. Bye.